break the bank. Black or gray smoke up there, so fire is started. It'll continue to burn like that. Again, when we bring the engines in at night, we try and drop the steam pressure down so that the engine's not sitting in the house. Safety's lifting overnight. Right now it's sitting at about 135 pounds. Basically it came in last night at about 150 or so because I was on this engine yesterday. We fill the boilers up with water. The water glass is over here. There's also one on the engineer's side there. It should be reading about 3/4 or so of a bottle of water. And then the thing that you probably all want to see is the bank. When you bring the engine in at night, you basically start letting the front of the fire go out and then build a bank or a mound of coal in the back that sits and cooks overnight. When the hostler comes in the morning, he'll shake the grates clean. He'll shake the fronts first, break the bank open, and push it forward. Throw fresh coal in on top of that. That'll get the fire started, and then rake or clean the back grates, dump them, and pull some of the fire back. Throw some more fresh coal on it, and have a fresh, clean fire. He'll also fill up these cups here. Anybody have questions?
I have one. For purposes of you as an engineer, is there much difference in running the 475 and running the 90?
Yeah. There's a few differences. 90 has a little more tractive effort than 475, so it's got a little bit more power to it. 475 is a little more, right now anyway, is a little more sure-footed. It doesn't slip quite as much. 90 has a little bit of a tendency now to want to slip, and that's basically because there's some attention that needs to be paid to the running gear underneath it. You know, just part of normal wear and tear. But one of the things we did a couple years ago on 475 was drop all of the driving wheels out from underneath it and reprofile the tires on them. And we found a couple of them that were, you know, again, from normal wear and tear, but they were a little bit out of round. And so, you know, as that rotation occurs, when you get to the out of round spot, that's not making good contact with the rail. 475 used to slip like crazy. It was a chore with this thing to keep it from slipping. And now, since they did the drivers a couple years ago, it's pretty sure-footed. But 475 doesn't like to accelerate very rapidly. It will accelerate, but you've got to kind of be patient with it. You've got to kind of let it walk its way into the train. Where 90, on the other hand, on good rail, dry rail, or with a little bit of sand, you can get her to take off pretty quick. And the real race car, Mr. Dmitrovich's way, the real race car is this little thing over here, 89, with a light train. It's the smallest of the three. It's got a little bit bigger driving wheels, and it will take off. It really does accelerate real well. So they all have their little differences and idiosyncrasies, and that was even true on the railroads back when steam was in regular service. You'd have, you know, what, 425 Pennsylvania Railroad Class K4 passenger locomotives, and each one of them was a little different. I mean, they were all a lot the same, but there were, you know, each one's kind of got its own little quirks. So yeah, there's some differences.
really doesn't take too much to get it to roll outside of the
95 pounds of pressure on it. Again, this is a 200-pound boiler, just like 475. You saw what the bank looked like in 475 before it would have been broken open if it was running today. So 90 had a similar bank in it. And now you can see what the fire looks like once it's started and spread out over the grates. And that's a pretty good fire. Nice and thin, level. That's what you want.
go back.